Hi, everyone, and welcome back to the Tech Blueprint Podcast. This is episode 2 of a series where I sit down with founders, CEOs, investors, and tech leaders driving innovation across Ireland. Look, in this episode, I had the chance to sit down with Apoorva Kumar, the co-founder and CEO of Inspeq AI, which is a company that's doing some really exciting work in the AI space with a focus on driving real-world impact. Look, we covered quite a lot of things, including the story behind Inspeq AI, what's happening behind the scenes with their technology, the realities and misconceptions of AI in today's world, and how Apoorva is building a product and an engineering culture that really stands out. We also got into leadership challenges, future opportunities in AI, and Apoorva's thoughts on some underrated technologies that most people should be paying attention to today. Please listen on for more. Hey, Apoorva, good afternoon. Thanks very much for joining me today.
Hey, Jack. Good afternoon. Thanks for having me. Thanks for the
All good.
opportunity.
No, all good, all good. So I suppose just to get us started, I was keen to really get, as we're stuck into the founding story of Inspeq. So for those who might not know, could you maybe give us a bit more information about how Inspeq AI came to life and what sort of problems you were passionate about solving?
Absolutely, Jack. So before founding Inspeq, I was working at Microsoft in Ireland as senior manager of product for OneDrive and SharePoint. And there we were building something called as Syntax AI, which is a lot of AI capabilities in OneDrive and SharePoint, including some of the Copilot activities, advanced applications on OneDrive and SharePoint to optimize different types of processes. And this was a time when people were playing around with early foundation models, and they were trying to build different types of copilots, right? So we started observing that these large language models are non-deterministic in nature, right? So they're trained on internet data. So if you go on ChatGPT and ask what is the salary of Simon Harris, it'll give you some answer regardless of whether it's true or not, right? So it was true when we were trying to build different types of business applications, including copilots, or we were also observing other people who were trying to play around with foundation models, that this was a major challenge for them. At that point in time, I was also doing a lot of side hustles, right? So one of my side hustles was in the sustainability space, where I was trying to see how large language models can help in calculating carbon emissions, right? And similar kind of problems were there as well, right? So it was very evident that this is a big problem, and this will be one of the biggest adoption blockers for large language models, especially for enterprises, right? So that's how the problem statement got absolutely clear for us. And this was around Q4 2023. We started off with this problem statement, interviewed a bunch of developers, data scientists who were trying to build different types of LLM-based applications. They were trying to build AI bots, trying to embed intelligence into the business process. Every single person we were talking to was saying that it's extremely hard, time consuming, and expensive to optimize large language model based application for high reliability, right? So high reliability means an output which is free from bias, free from misinformation, free from any kind of inconsistencies, inaccuracies, has no security vulnerabilities, and so on and so forth, right? So that's how we launched the first version of a product. And this was in March 2024. Which was targeted to all these different developers, data scientists, and testers who were building LLM-based applications. So that's the backdrop story. In terms of my own background, before Microsoft, I was with AWS. So I was the first product manager for AWS Lambda in Europe, which was a small startup at that point in time. Now it's a multi-billion-dollar business. So I was owning the execution environment space. Early years of my career, I spent a lot of time at SAP in different geographies, and also in Informatica, which was, off late, it was bought by Salesforce for an $8 billion deal. So most of my background has been productizing and commercializing AI, ML data platforms in different types of enterprise businesses. And obviously, my deep passion for startups as advisor, as an angel investor as well. And I think it was November 2023 when I thought that it's time to consolidate all my experience and use this whole generative AI wave to build a globally impactful company.
Awesome. Fantastic. Thanks very much for sharing that. When it comes to product and impact, how does Inspeq AI's technology actually work in practice then? What sort of impact are you seeing for your clients or the industries that you're working within?
Yeah, so we deal predominantly with enterprise clients, right? So we are talking about banks, insurance companies, telco companies, automobile companies. Like, those are the kind of clients we have, and they really struggle in adopting generative AI, right? So using Inspeq, what they can do is they can ensure that there's right governance framework around their generative AI applications or agentic AI applications, and from setup to oversight, they can cover all the different parts of their software development life cycle using large language models, right?
Okay.
Using Inspeq. So there's a lot of confidence that they can build, by using platform, which can be used in a model and cloud agnostic way. So whether you are using OpenAI models or Mistral models, or you are using your own private LLMs, we don't restrict the user to use only a one type of model. At the same time, if you're building your application which is hosted on cloud or it is on premise, you can use Inspeq anywhere, right? So the anywhere and everywhere philosophy really makes us super compelling for different types of enterprises who are trying to build these solutions, and we can be integrated with a wider landscape, depending on the use case that they have, right? So it's a classic sort of middleware product which is industry and cloud agnostic.
Okay, fantastic. In terms of AI, look, you're probably one of the best people to speak to about this. Like, obviously, particularly in my world, there's lots of hype, lots of positivity, lots of negativity about it. What do you think might be some of the biggest misconceptions regarding AI, in perhaps either Ireland or in your space?
Yeah, so I think that the most pressing challenges are around the reliability, the trustworthiness of AI. So the advanced challenges also include ethical and compliance of AI applications, right? Like, this is becoming insanely important for different types of businesses and also for policymakers, right?
Yeah.
So I talk to at least 5 customers in a day, and each customer I'm talking to, regardless of what type of AI application they're building for their use case or industry vertical, one thing that gets called out is that I'm having serious troubles in trusting the output of my application, or have problems with my input because it's garbage in and garbage out. So if there's bad input going to these models, then
Yeah.
obviously you'll get a bad result, right? So I think while there's enormous amount of power in generative AI, in agentic AI, in AGI, which is artificial general intelligence, and it is definitely something which cannot be overlooked, and it will be a bit sort of naive to say that this is not going to impact time. I think the proper ethical societal use of it is also equally important, right? Like, you cannot have these technologies adopted at scale unless and until you have the right guardrails and governance frameworks around it, right? So I think misconceptions are that you can uh, literally it is going to replace human beings.
Mhm.
Is going to be a new sort of electricity, and there'll be no more human beings who will be working in different types of industries. You can use AI anywhere and everywhere, and it is part and parcel of each and every process. I think that's partially true. Like, at the end of the day, the human in the loop is important, and it is important that these humans who are trying to make right business decisions using AI, they uh, have the right confidence level in making those decisions, right? So that there are no compliance issues, there are no problems with the ethical aspects related to the AI, right? So I think that is one thing. The second thing is that um, on the other side, like given that there's a lot of hype about generative AI and agentic AI, I think each and every individual who is working in any industry should try and learn about these technology trends, because they may think that it's not going to hit them today, but it is definitely going to hit them in near future. And when
Yeah.
I say hit, it's not like that it's going to again replace. Like, if you think that it's going to replace you, it will replace you, right? But if you learn and if you try to adopt the technology and try and use it in your role, in your industry, as a part of your job, then you can embrace it for
Yeah.
productivity, right? And I think that is how it should be approached.
100%. Sink or swim is what I keep hearing at the minute. Okay, cool. Look, obviously, this is a technology-focused podcast, so it would be wrong for myself not to touch on sort of the technologies involved in Inspeq. So, could you maybe talk about maybe like the core tech stack that you guys are using, and I suppose how that's helping to formulate a strong engineering culture within the organization as itself?
Absolutely. So our chief product engineering officer, Manish, is based out of Bangalore, and I've been knowing him for the last 17, 18 years of my life. We studied in the same university, and then we went in different walks of life. So he's a big startup enthusiast and also a techie at heart. So he has built the whole product stack of Inspeq, right from the infrastructure to the application layers, right? And some of the key differentiators for us is that we have our own proprietary methods of solving all these reliability, responsible AI related problems as a part of our product, right? So there's a lot of time and effort which goes into coming up with these scientific formulas. So that's one thing. Second thing is that because we are addressing enterprise customers, we want to ensure that the middleware that we are building can cater to enterprise workloads, right? So high performance computing workloads or workloads which involves like huge volumes when it comes to operations, etc. So the way the system has been architected is to cater to this kind of enterprise workload, and this is where we have used best of breed technology, whether it is Kubernetes or whether it is serverless compute, etc., to see how this can be scaled as the volumes are increasing, right? So that's the second thing. The third thing is that there are advanced methods also that we are trying to include in a product which can further provide a good, protected, secure enterprise-grade solution, right? So that's the third pillar on which we are working, which makes us very special. But most of the internal stack, like I think we have used different types of technologies from front end to back end, from latest and greatest technologies like React to fast API based back end to Kubernetes based deployment for enterprise workloads. We have also ensured that all these different capabilities can be used on different types of data stores, whether a customer is using Postgres or other data store of their choice. They should be able to integrate it with the product, right? So those are kind of flexibilities and agility that we have provided in the product. But I think the most important thing is security, performance, and the scale at which we operate and we intend to build the product. And that's purely driven by the customer demands.
100%. Okay. When it comes to, I suppose, leadership, maybe some challenges that you guys have had, what's been one of the toughest leadership or even product challenges that you faced while growing the company, and how did you navigate it, or how you continue to navigate this?
Yeah. So I'll cover leadership first, and then I'll talk about the product challenges. I think on the leadership side, we are an international company, so we are headquartered in Dublin and have our R&D unit in Bangalore, right? So when you are managing like global operations, it becomes important to understand cultural nuances, right?
Mm-hmm.
And we have a lot of people over here in Dublin, as well as most of our software engineers and R&D folks stationed in Bangalore, right? So it's important to have the right structures in place so that we can operate in both the countries in a seamless way. That is one thing. At the same time, communication becomes really important, right? So how do you set up structures so that people can communicate freely, regardless of the geographical differences, cultural differences, etc. So I've been trying to build a very international organization rather than keeping it fixated to say one geography, because we are in that kind of business. We have customers all over the world. Obviously, we are looking at US as well as to how we can expand over there. So obviously there'll be similar kind of challenges, but I think if you have the right structures in place and you set up the right culture in terms of empowering people and setting them for success, so that they're free to experiment, especially in an early stage company like us, and they can make those bold bets, without worrying about that somebody will be judging them or penalizing them if things don't go right. I think that freedom and that autonomy is very important, and that should be part of the culture which I'm trying to set up in the company, regardless of business functions, HR functions, or R&D functions, right? So I think that is very important, and my own leadership style is also very servant led. So I believe a lot in delegating and trusting the people who are part of the management team, and the people who report to them, right? So I think those kind of things, regardless of the scale of the company, is important to set up from the get go, right?
Yeah.
So that's on the leadership side. On the product side, like, we're in a very fast moving space, right?
Yeah.
There's a new model getting launched on a daily basis. There's some technology coming. There are new agents being created. There are no new, technologies which are born on a daily basis in different parts of the world. So I think one of the key things for us is to ensure that how we are different and defensible as compared to anyone else who is trying to do in any part of the world. So
Yeah.
building that moat becomes really important, and that's where we not only are customer obsessed, but we also keep a close eye on what are the kind of technology trends that we are observing in the market, what are the things that we need to be mindful of, right? And at the same time, how we can develop that moat and defensibility. I think that is something that we discuss with Manish and team almost on a daily basis.
Perfect. Couple of questions, probably just more for fun than anything else. Keen to obviously get your insight. So, the first one's obviously on the future of AI. We obviously just talked about some sort of misconceptions and things like that. But where do you see the biggest opportunities for AI in the next 3 to 5 years?
I think there could be opportunity in every sector, right? With so many things happening on the enterprise side, there are so many multimodal related stuff happening with vision models for images, videos, etc. I think there's an opportunity in each and every sector. There could be an AI tool built for each and every persona, right? Obviously, I would say, like, one of the biggest trends that we'll see as things move forward is the whole growth of agentic AI, and how multi-agent workflows could be stitched for different types of business processes. I think that's a huge opportunity in itself. The second one I would say is around use of different types of vision models, right? In terms of how AI can be used for other types of formats, beyond
Yeah.
text, right? So imagine if there's a podcast which is happening between me and you. There could be a scenario that your avatar is talking to my avatar. Those are the kind of things that we may see people trying to experiment with. Now, how much successful they would be is a different question, but we will definitely see these kind of things happening. Obviously, there are a lot of traditional industries as well, which will try and disrupt with the whole Gen AI, AGI wave, right? So that'll be another interesting thing to see how traditional businesses are getting transformed. We saw a transformation in the cloud world, in the World Wide Web world, and also in the mobile world. I think this will be more of transformation in the Gen AI world, and there'll be a lot of disruptions that we'll be seeing.
100%. Like, for all people know, we are avatars right now, just talking to each other in terms of AI. Who knows? Only joking. Like, final thing from me then, just was just around, look, what's the most underrated tool or piece of tech that you think more people in the tech sector could be using right now? Maybe something with an AI tool or something like that.
There are like bunch of important tools, from tools helping you build designs to presentations to writing notes and so on and so forth, right? I would not say it's underrated. I think it's probably one of the most famous and one of my most favorite as well, which is Cursor, right? And I think they've seen insane growth, in a very short span of time. I think it has made the whole application development very, very easy, right? So I would say that, for the tech audience listening to this podcast, who have not experimented with Cursor and those kind of tools, like, do try and use. I'm pretty sure all developers would be, because it's just making their life easy. As compared to the traditional SDLC world, where it used to take a lot of time to write code, right? So I think those are some of the top things I would say. And then there are, like, common tools which people use on a daily basis. And I said I get surprised when I see the speed at which even non-native English speakers are able to create very proper documents, proper presentations.
Yeah.
And I think those are the kind of things that people should use. They should start using. I think almost everyone uses ChatGPT and Claude, but it's time to also start using some very specific tools which can help expedite your job on a daily basis.
Perfect. Look, just want to finish up by saying thanks very much for joining me this afternoon. It was great to have you on. And yeah, thank you.
Jack, it's a pleasure. I think, congratulations to you. You're doing a fantastic job in building a very powerful community and, bringing in different perspectives from different types of people. So well done over there. And it was a pleasure being on your podcast. Wish you all the best and happy to help in future.
Appreciate it. Thank you very much.